On the highlights this afternoon, Vice President Shatima affirms federal government's commitment to revive its cocoa industry ensures it becomes a major global processor. Federal government declares June 6, 9 as public holidays to celebrate Eid al-Adha. And nationwide, judiciary strike paralyzes Court of Appeal, High Court over minimum wage dispute. Good afternoon and welcome to Rstv News at 3. I'm Catherine Agon. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is the task we must accomplish. You can watch Rstv News live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. You can subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Now the news in full. A new medical equipment and logistics outfit called KMC Medical and Logistics has opened in Port Harcourt. Located at 216 East West Road at the Rumodara Junction, the organization promises to provide state-of-the-art medical facilities to practitioners. Justice Ihumo has the details.
The Chief Executive Officer of the outfit, Mr. James Ugweke, said all forms of laboratory and hospital equipment and consumables needed by doctors, nurses, medical lab scientists, radiographers, and radiologists are available. He informed the public that they stock high-quality and durable products, and they provide delivery services, including provision for installation for clients, as well as care services and maintenance.
When you come to laboratory, we have a hematology analyzer, chemistry analyzer, hematocrit centrifuge, bucket centrifuge, incubator, weighing balance, autoclave, microscope, of anything that has to do with equipment in the laboratory. KMC has it. Any kind of hospital equipment and consumables.
Mr. Gweke pointed out that quality equipment goes a long way to ensure quality diagnosis. Hence, the company has supplied to hospitals with testimonies of their quality. According to him, there is also an outlet in Lagos with partnership in China, which is ready to give their client products based on specification.
So it depends on the what you want. We can give based on your specification. You want it to be like this? Yes, we can configure it based on that particular. We have gone to the level of producing to the standard you want. This is the specification you want. You tell us, we travel and make it possible, bring it back to you the way you want it. Here we are out to serve you. We have logistics that can deliver to any place you are. You can reach us through the number that will be displayed. Any moment, you can reach us, call us, we deliver.
The CEO said medical equipment like MRI, CT scan, and other sophisticated facilities are available at affordable prices, while provisions are made for payment in installments. Justice Ihumo, Rstv News.
The senior pastor of Grace Anointing Ministry, Apostle Emenike Enyi, has advised children to always obey their parents for a better future, as disobedience attracts curses. He gave the advice during the Children's Day celebration at the church in Alo of Ikwere, local government area of Rivers State. Again, Justice Ihumo was there.
Apostle Enyi said children as future leaders need to be shown needed love to make them happy and enable them maximize their potentials. He noted that the church is a major grooming place for children where they need to be taught the ways of God to enthrone a better society, and advise parents to love their children equally, provide their needs, and teach them values of serving God to avoid them seeking love and help elsewhere.
Very penitent that they should obey their parents and listen to whatever their parents is telling them. They should listen to it because their parents is their guide. The first church is their parents, and if they don't listen to their parents, they will not go far, because disobedience brings curse, and whatever curse parents release on them stands.
As a measure to encourage the spiritual growth of the children and give them a sense of belonging, the children were given opportunity to conduct the church service. The children also displayed several talents, including praise and worship, Bible recitations, dances, news presentation, debate, quiz, playlet, among others. a sermon, a teenage member of the church, Benjamin Oke, spoke on the benefits of obedience and the consequences of disobedience.
One need to be obedient in order to find favor in the sight of God. There are disadvantages of disobedience. It brings shame and disgrace. It brings blocked door.
The wife of the senior pastor, Mrs. Adane Emenike, and other members of the church said the celebration has given the children so much joy and gave some words of advice.
When they are close to God, they will be very, very contented with what they have, and they will not be influenced by what is happening in the society.
I believe that God, Almighty God, is doing something great in our children, and I always be a support to these children.
I'm advising them to serve God with their hearts.
There was also cutting of celebration cake by the children. Justice Ihuo, Rstv News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has affirmed the federal government Nigeria's commitment to reviving its cocoa industry and the broader agricultural value chain to become a major global processor rather than just a producer of cocoa. Vice President Shettima, who stated this during a meeting with the president of the World Cocoa Foundation WCF, Chris Vincent, in Abuja, mentioned the recent approval for the establishment of a National Cocoa Management Board as evidence of the government's dedication. The Vice President also emphasized Nigeria's available manpower and the eagerness of its young population to participate in the agricultural sector. He said he would personally engage Governor Abu Kefas of Taraba State to secure the 10,000 hectares in the Kuri local government area of the state for the WCF and other partners to expand their investments in the nation's cocoa industry. Meanwhile, the federal government has declared Friday 6th and Monday 9th June 2025 as public holidays to mark this year's Eid-el-Adha celebration. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government in a statement by the Permanent Secretary, Magdalene Ajani, congratulated all Muslim Ummah both at home and in the diaspora on this occasion. He called on the Muslim Ummah to continue to imbibe the spirit of sacrifice and faith as exemplified by Prophet Ibrahim, and also used the period to pray for a peaceful and prosperous Nigeria. The minister assured Nigerians that the people-oriented reforms and initiatives carried out in furtherance of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is to restore peace on the path of progress. While wishing the Muslim Ummah happy Eid-el-Adha celebration, the minister urged all Nigerians to join hands with the present administration in its efforts to restore the glory of Nigeria as a great nation. The presidency says it has begun processes to pay 2 trillion naira from a total 4 trillion naira legacy debt owed for electricity generated and supplied to the national grid. A representative of the special advisor to the president on energy, Olu Verigen, revealed that at the Nigerian electricity supply industry NESI stakeholders meeting organized by the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission (NEC), according to her, the debts to be settled before the end of the coming quarter as part of the efforts to stabilize Nigeria's power sector. While emphasizing the significance of paying off the debt for the power sector, she explained that the alternative debt instruments were being explored given the federal government's fiscal constraints. She confirmed that both the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, and the Debt Management Office, DMO, have expressed their support, adding that internal approvals are currently underway. The indefinite nationwide strike embarked upon by judiciary workers to protest the non-implementation of the 70,000 naira new national minimum wage and the salary increment for workers under the consolidated public service salary structure paralyzed activities at the Court of Appeal and High Courts in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and other states. Save for the Supreme Court, all other federal courts in Abuja were under lock and key. with angry Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria members manning gates in their respective states to ensure that no staff or lawyer gained entrance into the court premises. However, workers at the Supreme Court and National Judicial Council NJC had in separate statements said they would not be part of the nationwide strike, following efforts by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, to ensure their demands were met. The Supreme Court, in a communique at the end of its meeting, explained that its workers came to the conclusion of not joining the industrial action after assessing the issues as well as efforts of the CGN to meet their demands. The communique confirmed that the CGN had already visited the presidency and tabled the workers' demands in order to get them resolved. The communique, signed by 12 principal officers of the Supreme Court chapter of JUSUN, led by Chairman Danladi Inda, said joining the June 2 strike would amount to misplacement of priority and neglect and would result in futility. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. Still to come after the break. More than 200 inmates escaped Pakistan jail after earthquake, and Dutch government faces collapse as far-right leader Geert Wilders exits coalition. These and more news stories come to you after the break. Stay tuned.
It is well with you, my son.
Amen.
Remember the child of who you are. You will meet people who will tell you to take shortcuts. They will tell you everybody is doing it. They will tell you that you don't have 10 heads.
You will tell them that your head is cuckoo as big as 10 heads.
They will tell you that connection is the poor man's language for corruption. Connection, no. Corruption, no. Shall not in your country.
Not in your country.
You will tell them that the poor people are the ones who sent you there. That we are the real connection.
See, like Mama's hand, we connect to your face if you join bad gang.
Not true. We not go come out our eyes sake of so you be our king and let other people suffer for nothing. Be a good example.
Take whistle. Learn how to blow your whistle.
Do good. Bring it home. Oh yeah. Stand up. Good to go?
Good to go.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, with support from the MacArthur Foundation and with broadcast support from the Rivers State Television.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
You're welcome back. Now to the rest of our news stories. The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, said its airstrike have neutralized over 20 armed terrorists and destroyed more than 21 motorcycles during an air interdiction in Zamfara State. NAF's spokesperson, Ehimen Ejodame, in a statement said the operation carried out in the general area south of Meigama in the Maru local government area of the state was aimed at halting a planned large-scale attack on vulnerable communities by armed bandits. The Air Force said intelligence received indicated that a significant number of terrorists were massing and preparing to strike unsuspecting settlements. Ejodame said upon arrival at the area, over 30 motorcycles carrying armed terrorists heading into the nearby forest were positively identified. NAF said it deeply regretted the loss of the brave vigilantes and remained committed to working with local communities to ensure the safety and security of all citizens. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has asked Nigerians to support the armed forces in its quest to combat violent groups and insurgents. At the first Voice of Nigeria Forum in Abuja, General Musa emphasized the need for trust, civic engagement, and responsible narratives as keys to addressing insecurity. He pointed out that insurgency tends to grow when citizens provide space, support, or visibility to those working against national space. Also, the Director of Legal Services at the Office of the National Security Advisor, Zakari Minjiyawa, who represented the NSA Nuhu Ribadu, stressed that security is not the sole responsibility of the military or intelligence agencies. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, recognized the sacrifices of the armed forces and emphasized the role of the media. He encouraged journalists to focus on the achievements of the military while avoiding excessive coverage of terrorist activities. Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs in Niger State, Ahmed Suleiman, says more than 200 corpses of victims have been recovered after devastating floods hit the Mokwa local government area of the state. Suleiman said the Omar Bago administration in the north-central state has activated an emergency response and directed the distribution of relief materials to displaced victims of the flood who are housed in makeshift camps. Meanwhile, victims of makeshift camps continue to voice deep dissatisfaction over the handling of relief efforts. A visit to the affected communities by a newsman revealed the frustration and disappointment of flood victims, especially over the lack of adequate food supplies and poor camp conditions. Many displaced residents lamented that although they were photographed with food items by authorities and relief personnel, they were not given the supplies. And in business, the Naira gained ground against the US dollar in the parallel market, appreciating to 1,610 Naira per dollar. This marks a significant recovery after a volatile performance in May when the Naira weakened by 1.24%. And the official market trading was still ongoing, but Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) figures showed that Naira remained relatively stable from 23rd to 30th May, trading between 1,579 Naira per dollar and 1,592 Naira per dollar. The Naira also appreciated against other major currencies. The currencies appreciated reflects easing pressure in the foreign exchange market. While the parallel market remained volatile, the improvement is seen as a positive indicator of monetary stability. And on the foreign scene, more than 200 prisoners escaped from jail in Pakistan's largest city following an earthquake in the early hours of today. Police said thousands of inmates broke down doors and the locks of their cells and shattered windows after they felt tremors shake the walls at Mali jail in Karachi. Of those who escaped from the prison, police said 80 inmates had been recaptured and searches were ongoing for more than 130 still at large. One prisoner was killed in the operation and 2 prison officers injured. A prison superintendent told newsmen that inmates began shouting from their cells and barracks around midnight as they were terrified the building would collapse on them. After the frenzy turned violent, police said they responded with warning shots, firing guns into the air. While many returned to their cells, others stormed the main gate in panic, with 216 inmates using the opportunity to escape the prison altogether. Far-right Dutch leader Geert Wilders has withdrawn his party from the government, bringing down the governing coalition after less than a year. A move which was brought on by a row over immigration will now likely usher a snap election. Prime Minister Dick Schoof had made a last-minute appeal of coalition party leaders this morning, but the meeting lasted just 1 minute before Wilders walked out, ending the coalition. Wilders had asked for 10 additional asylum measures, including a freeze on asylum application, halting the construction of reception centers, and limiting family reunification. Although there was shock and anger among political leaders, many of whom pointed out that several of Wilders' demands are similar to policies already in the coalition agreement, and that they would not stand in the PVV's way to implement them. And on entertainment, Nigerian Afrobeat star Burna Boy has responded to the backlash which followed his proposal to hold a free concert in Burkina Faso. The response came after critics mocked the initiative and claimed he was allegedly rejected by the president of Burkina Faso. Afi Burabari has more on these and other entertainment stories. Take a look.
The Grammy-winning artist, in an Instagram story, defended his intentions and criticized those questioning his motives. According to him, his actions are guided by principle, not personal gain. The Grammy winner further shared that, while he has nothing to gain from anyone, it has not stopped him from doing great work. Burna Boy said he was shocked by the surprisingly negative and offensive comments from some individuals. Scales, in a post on his X page, encouraged artists who are yet to enjoy success to keep pushing, as many quit just before the blessings come. His words of admonition are inspired by his current commercial success, which comes as a surprise blessing. His song has become one of the biggest trending songs on TikTok, where users are dancing to it after the trend was sparked by Barcelona 18-year-old superstar Lamine Yamal.
Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm.
A renowned American actor, Jonathan Jost, best known for his role in King of the Hill, is dead. The 59-year-old actor was shot dead on Sunday, June 1st, 2025, by his neighbor, Sigfredo Seja Alvarez, during a dispute in San Antonio. The San Antonio Police Department said Sigfredo Seja Alvarez, 56, has been arrested and charged with murder. Afi Burabari, Rstv Entertainment News.
Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is the task we must accomplish. That's it on our news at 3. I'm Catherine Ago. Thanks for being part of it.